When I first came to live in Melton, I noticed a small creek that flowed mainly through paddocks. I later learned this was called Arnolds Creek. Now this creek mainly flows through suburban housing. I'd often noticed numbers of small fish living in the waterholes. I later learned these fish were called galaxias. A century ago, a weir was placed across the Werribee River to provide irrigation water for the market gardens at Werribee. As the galaxias were now cut off from their traditional spawning areas, they had to adapt to a changing environment or perish. It is thought they have learned to spawn in a series of small rocky pools at the end of the gorge. These pools have a high salt content, so the fish appear to have adopted this site as a surrogate river estuary. These small, insignificant looking fish, thriving mainly in stormwater of dubious quality, are true Western region survivors. They have learned to adapt to a dramatically changed environment. Arnolds Creek is also home to a great diversity of bird life. I'm always surprised when I see sea eagles flying over the creek with their dramatic black and white plumage so far from the sea. A pair of these regularly fly up and down the Werribee River, as well as a juvenile sea eagle. I'm also constantly amazed by the variety of other wildlife here. Red, blue and green dragonflies, as well as all other colours, patrol the waterholes. 5 species of frogs are also heard here. Common species like froglets, pobblebonks and spotted marsh frogs are frequently heard calling from the water. Less common species like whistling tree frogs and spadefoot toads can also be heard after very heavy rains. When I first came to Melton, I would walk with my kids along the creek. They were fascinated to watch the wildlife. We would get up before dawn and walk through the cold damp grass to get to the creek. We would then watch baby fox cubs playing among the rocks on the cliffs above the creek. As the sun rose above the rocky cliffs, we would then watch the large Cunningham skinks emerge from their hiding places among the rocks to sun themselves in the warm morning sun. The surrounding paddocks here were then a sea of waving tall grass. Today there are houses beside the creek, and there is now a concrete path that follows the creek. But new generations of foxes still raise their cubs beside the creek among the boulders, despite the expensive houses that now line the creekside. After the kids had grown up, I joined Melton Environment Group as I wanted to help protect the natural environment of our own local neighbourhood. Arnolds Creek flows almost entirely within the town of Melton. It forms a valuable corridor for wildlife in a rapidly expanding urban environment. I now walk with my small grandson by the same creek, hoping he'll learn to share my love of natural spaces like this. He cannot yet talk, but he calls out incoherently but excitedly when he sees something that attracts his eager attention. Hopefully when he grows up there will be still places like this to visit. There will always be wild places in remote areas, but it will be good to know that there are places like this near our own homes, near our own neighbourhood.